chat.
Yes.
Okay, start.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Mr. Go. Today we present our project proposal in English. First, may I introduce our members: Neil Abrigana, Joshua Romel Asucenas, Christian Alia, Janro Alilin, lastly, I, Adrian Alfanta. Without further ado, we will present our executive summary of our project proposal that will be presented by Neil Abrigana.
Okay ra, kita ra sir.
Kita ra bay.
Kita na ba?
You play the video.
Okay na ba? Kita na.
For the ones for the existing village young people inside, the least fortunate condition and lack of resources can be an obstacle to the least privileged youth to attain education. Expenses such as travel, school events, and additional expenses also for nutrition that could impact their performances and become inefficient in the class. The deprivation of education of current underprivileged youth at at site will be removed by site supplying them with ample allowances. Quality education is very important in and operation. Shift will it continue the action of and offer appropriate support to existing less privileged students at site. This provision of support for the existing youth inside will help the school to teach the student effectively, and it forms the true mission of site to able to help the least privileged student and help the young people to have better lives and to become better person and to become responsible member of the society. If this if this proposal is accepted, Lion grant will become a sponsorship for the exact 92 less privileged students will an allowance of 3,000 pesos in 18 months, and the remaining grant amount of 32 thousand pesos will certainly become the savings for the sponsorship of the other less privileged side.
So next, we'll present our short video presentation. And the title of the proposal is Allowance for Existing Young People in CITE. And that's all, sir. That's all the short video presentation of our project proposal.
Thank you, Group 1. Thank you, Earl, for a very seamless presentation. Okay. I understand that you really wanted to help students in order for them to finish their studies inside. And I want to know how how do you choose scholars? What are the criteria?
We choose the chosen students are by gathering data uh, through interview and based on our in a in the deadlines and plans, sir, we put there to in order to get the deserving students, we will use a platform of Google Forms and by interviewing the students.
I understand. You're telling me the process, but I want the criteria. How do you choose the scholars?
Can you repeat it, sir?
How do you? I want to know how would you choose the scholars? What are the criteria for selecting the scholars to be given 3,000 pesos for 18 months?
The criteria we that we
We use.
we comply is that we
Mm.
use is that by their family status and their uh,
Sige, how many
also
percent
based
sa inyong sa inyong choice or selection process ang family status? If these are, for example, if the student belongs to a poor family of what? 10 children, 5 children, how do you know that it's based on family background alone?
also we also base the family income, sir. The
How
that we
much is the pila man inyo, what is the range of the family income so that you give them scholarships?
uh, accumulate
Maybe
to 15,000 or 10,000
15,000,
a month, sir.
10,000 a month, and you give them scholarships. So
For
10,000.
in a family income, sir.
So if a family
And
earns
also
10,000,
also
if a
yes,
family
sir.
earns 10,
Also depends
it depends on what? There should be
depends
several.
also of the
Remember
also
that this is.
depends wait, sir.
Sige, sige, go ahead.
Uh,
Others
also
can answer.
depends of the number of the family.
That's why I'm asking for the criteria. You said earlier that a family would earn at least or at most ng 10,000 pesos a month.
Yes, sir.
Kanang
Yes, sir.
10,000, can you hear me? Kanang 10,000, is that total income sa family in a month?
Yes, sir.
So if it's 10,000 below, pasok siya sa
We
scholarship.
will yes, sir.
We will what?
Oh, it also it can be appeals pwede ra.
It can be
Yes, sir.
included. It can be included
Included
in
in
scholarship.
the yes, sir. For the scholarship,
Okay.
sir.
Hmm. Aside from family income, what else are your selection processes or selection criteria?
Um, based on our sir, we
Meeting.
also base the
Other members can help as well, huh? Joshua, Neil, John Rowe, and Christian can help. I'm asking Earl what are the criteria for selection of scholars, which I can't see in your paper. Okay, your deadlines would include only announcing of the sponsorship, open for application, and you made mention of Google
Yes, sir.
Form requirements. Now, requirements such as status data in the formation of the students or interview. So, meaning status data, I would assume that this is the criteria now on how to select. Okay,
Yes, sir.
October 12 to 23, you said here, October 12 to 23, you'll be choosing the deserving students.
Yes, sir.
Hmm. Aside from family is that enough? Family status lang? Family income lang? That's the only basis for the scholarships?
Also, their performances, sir.
How do you rate the performance? How do you rate the attitude? Remember how you're selecting students from different
Yes.
backgrounds, from different educational background and educational and family background. And of course, if you announce this one, everyone will join. Now you're only limited to 92 scholars, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
What if you will receive 1,000 applicants? How would you sort them out?
By yes, sir. By getting the their performance of their last
Semester.
last grade, sir, or maybe last school year, sir.
Be specific. What grade value are you putting there?
Their average w- weight grade, sir.
How much?
Uh, could be 80 80 to 90% grade average, sir.
So if it's 79, it can be included. 80, 90, 91, can it be included?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So set the,
Yes,
you
sir.
set the limit. Okay. So it's clear now that you are basing the scholarships on merit, which is grade. Secondly, on family background, which you indicated 10,000 a month. And then you give them
Yes, sir.
scholarships, correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Earl. Joshua, Azucenas, can you speak up?
Sir, repeat, sir.
Joshua, Maklaro,
Di ka
Azucenas,
sir, di mo. Balik ka, sir. Balik ka, sir.
do you have a copy of your report?
Yes, sir. Na ko copy, sir.
Very good. Now, go to page 2. You will see there the dates announcing, open for application, choosing, and the start of allowance provision. After giving the scholarships to students, what will be the next step?
Ano to, sir?
Did you see the deadlines? Have you seen the deadlines and plans? Page 2.
Oh, deadline, sir. Deadline.
Yes. Did you see the date, October 26, 2020?
Sir, October 26, 2020.
What is indicated there?
October 26. Wait, sir. October 26. Wait, sir.
Hmm. While you are there, I will read the. Okay. I'll go back to you,
Start
Janro.
of Wait, sir. Wait, sir. Copy. Photos. Screenshots. Deadlines. Start of allowance. Oh.
Yeah.
Asa, wait, ha.
Wait a little. Azucenas, are you having difficulty? I'll give you time, huh? I'll pass this question to Neil. Abrigana,
Yes, sir.
Neil, what?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you saw the October 26th deadline, which is start of allowance provision. You are correct. What will be
Yes,
the
sir.
next step? What will be the next step? What should be the next step after giving the scholarship provision? So that we can ensure that the students are properly using the scholarship allowance that is given to them.
Sir, can you speak again, sir?
Okay.
Putol-putol,
Neil,
sir.
Neil, maklaro na, maklaro na.
Putol-putol, sir.
Kana, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Kana,
Klaro?
sir, kana. Oh,
Okay.
yes,
Take
sir.
note, ha? October 26, you said it's the start of giving allowances and giving allowance provision. How do we make sure na kanang allowance of given to the students will be used properly?
We conduct a surveillance, sir, if na gigamit ba nila ang allowance sa
What do you mean surveillance? Mag CCTV ka?
no, sir. Kanang kuan, sir ba? Yang we give them a letter or kanang kuan, sir ba? Para kung makita na mo or pang,
English,
we
English,
will
English.
we will kuan, sir, kanang sa will mangayo mig kuan, sir ba? Kanang
You will
the
you will ask for we will ask for
the we will ask for kuan approve, sir, or kanang receipt
what are you
kung
doing?
naka
Yes, correct. What are you doing? What is that activity?
kuan, sir, ng
You are. It's not surveillance. It's called. What is it called?
kuan, sir, conduct
Letter M.
sir,
Survey.
No. It's not a survey. Abrigana,
sir,
what do you call that? It starts with letter M. What do you call that? You're correct. You wanted proof on how this money is being spent.
Monitoring.
yes, sir.
Oh,
Oh,
monitoring.
monitor, sir.
Very good. Okay, I'll go to General. General, are you available?
Thank you.
General.
Sir.
General, kaya sa imong signal?
Oh, sir.
General,
Oh, sir. Putol-putol, sir.
kana, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Kana, okay ra? Can you hear me?
Oh, sir.
Can you hear me or not?
Kadungog, sir.
Okay, question. Page 2, success criteria.
Sorry, doon, sir.
Kita? Did you see it? Page 2, success criteria. General. Murag si General. Christian. Aliyah.
Sir.
Yes. Okay. Sige, I'll go back to General. Page 2, Christian. Success criteria. You have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You indicated here that at least 80% passing rate, which can be calculated by completing the activities of their courses. What happens if the student cannot pass or cannot reach the passing rate? What will you do?
Kanang kwan sir kanang kanang mangayo og kwan sa maestra sa teacher sir nga nang pass gani sir. Nang mo mangayo pa sila mangayo sa excuses nga kanang maong di sa
English. Aliyah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me? Okay. Again, my question is, page 2, success criteria. It says here that at least 80% passing rate, grade of the student. My question is, if the student could not meet the 80% passing rate, what are you going to do?
Paano ka na?
You can also help each other, huh? As you're a team. Pwede na po dyan, Roy, you can type if you want. So actually, the question goes for everyone. Since in your page 2, you indicated success criteria, which indicates attendance and passing rate. The passing rate of 80%, which, according to you, can be calculated by completing the activities of the course, required by the course. Now, the question is very simple. Yes, pretty. You can type. What if the student fails to meet the 80% passing rate? Anyone? Any member can answer?
Can you repeat the question, sir?
Okay, Earl,
Okay.
page 2 of your proposal, you have deadlines and plans. There is an indication of passing rate of 80% under success criteria. Did you see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What if the student could not meet the passing rate? What will happen to him? Or would you consider the program or proposal unsuccessful? Someone, what's your take?
If the students cannot require the passing rate, sir, is we will use another way, which is by guiding the students in order to pass the requirement for the scholarship, sir.
You have to remember that you are the one proposing. You are not the teacher here. At sa may imong remediation, ana, what will be your remediation? How do you solve
But
that?
by approaching the teachers, sir,
You will be the one to approach the teacher. Here's an answer from General. I don't know if everyone agrees. We give last chance for students who don't meet the passing rate. If the student fails again, we need to invalidate the scholarship. You read his answer on the chat box. Would you agree? Group 1.
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
1,
That
2,
could
well,
be the other way.
Yes, sir.
okay na sa Lia, it's agreeing. So majority agrees that you will invalidate if he will not shape up. Is that so? Sige. It's good? Aliyah, here's Aliyah. Success criteria again, 90% of the attendance required. What if he misses a lot of classes? Would you invalidate the scholarship?
Can I repeat, sir?
Another success criterion you mentioned is 90% attendance in school. If the student misses the classes, are you going to invalidate the scholarship? Or are you going to declare it invalid? And why?
Paano ka na? invalid, sir, because
Go ahead, explain.
Pardon, sir. Pardon.
I'm looking at the 90% attendance. You mentioned earlier on, if the passing grade, if the student does not meet the passing rate, you will invalidate the scholarship. What about attendance? If the student falls below the attendance requirement, are you going to invalidate the scholarship? Christian? Or who can answer? Okay, go ahead, Christian.
Repeat po, sir. Repeat po, sir.
Si Christian is having difficulty. Success criteria na to, di ba? Yes, go. Type, ako suggestion, i-type na lang kung if you cannot speak up clearly. Again, the question was, since if you give scholarship to students and then you require them to have a passing rate of 80%, then if he does not meet the 80%, you made mention invalidating yung scholarship. There's a second criterion that you mentioned, 90% attendance. 90% attendance. Are you going to invalidate if the student doesn't meet the requirement or the required attendance as well? Group 1? Group 1? Earl? Okay.
Yes, sir.
What's your
Um,
answer? Oh.
yes, sir. We will still give chance if the student can pass the passing rate
Mm.
and we can also give another per semester for improvement, sir.
So you agree with Abrigana?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Last question for you. You have a very good proposal. You really prepared you really prepared even a video for this one. I would just like to ask the question of the 32,000 remaining, which remainder for sponsorship. You mentioned that it will
Yes,
become savings for the scholars. Who can elaborate?
yes, sir. By uh, by the giving 5 million grants, sir, we calculated that it will uh, accumulate for 4,968,000,
Hmm. Hmm.
and the remaining is 32,000,
Okay.
and we'll we will make sure that it will become the saving for the other scholar, which could be will put it in a bank, sir, and there is uh or it can be put to the uh, scholar savings, sir. If there is students that is needly help for their education, we will provide with the remaining grant of 32,000, sir.
Okay. So if there's a need. Final lang. Do you agree with Azucena's statement in the chat box?
Yes, sir.
Why?
Because uh katum na because it says, sir, that it will give another chance
No, no, no,
to the
no.
student.
No, no,
Uh,
no. The last statement. Azucenas is typing or was typing earlier on.
yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead. Did you see
Uh,
the
sh-
statement? Okay.
he said if the student not reach at least 90% of attendance, we will consider because we will not base on the attendance. We
Hmm.
will base on performance of the
Hmm.
students.
Okay. Would you agree? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Does it mean that attendance is not necessary to you? Because you said you will not base it on the attendance.
Base. We also base on attendance, sir. But
Hmm.
if the student cannot pass uh, the passing rate, will give chance to for another semester for the improvement, sir.
Hmm. No problem with that. I have no problem with passing rate because you already mentioned that you give a chance. But the Susena's statement
Yes.
is saying we will not base on the attendance. We will base on the performance. Remember that you
Oh,
put it in your success criteria.
I okay, sir. I
Hmm.
misunderstood what he says, sir. Typically, we will also base on attendance, sir, and also we'll also base for the performance of the
That is
students, sir.
exactly because that is what you mentioned in your success criteria. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So group one, thank you very much for answering some of my interpolations.
Thank you, sir.
Unless you want to say something, it's a good start for us. You have to meet the team once in a while so that you will have more or less the same train of thought, the same idea on the research or on the proposal that you are trying to feel, no, to propose to your sponsor. Any
Yes, sir.
question? Mm. Are there questions? No
And so
question.
far, sir.
Okay.
None so
Thank you
far,
very
sir.
much. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
sir.
Good job. Good job. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Tapay chat. Okay. Thank you. Ah.